Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I am Aaron Loomis. With me today is Jiunn and John McTavish. How you guys doing?
Oh, not bad.
Doing all right, man. It's like summertime, so I can smoke kind of whenever I want, which is nice. I like
That's
smoking
nice.
whenever I want. Yeah.
There you go. All right. So today we are talking about the Micallef Connecticut Toro cigar, 6-inch by 52 ring gauge. Comes out of the Micallef factory in Nicaragua. Wrapper is Ecuadorian Connecticut. Binder is Nicaraguan Habano, and the filler is from Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic. Blended by Joel Gomez Sanchez. Price point is $10, and the cigar was released in February of 2019. So with all that out of the way, June, what was your overall experience like with the cigar?
My overall experience was, I think it was overall average, and that's because the construction was perfect, but the flavor profile was like it didn't hit for me. So this is not me knowing tobacco by any means, but just kind of like experiencing by smoking and talking to other blenders and brand owners that. So like I've heard and I've tasted certainly that when you use Ecuador Connecticut shade, there's within that wrapper leaf there's quite a bit of a it could be kind of astringent, like sour and bitter, that you need to blend out, to be really careful about blending out. So for me, this uh, that was exactly the fault with this cigar. When you first light it up, you kind of get that little tinge, get a little smidge of this like bitter sour, kind of a citrus kind of a note. But as I smoked through more of the cigar, and certainly by the end of it, it became really bitter. It became really sour. It became really like there was a lot of tannins in it. It was just not a pleasant. It was not a pleasant flavor experience, and it really destroyed kind of the finish of the cigar as well. So, I thought it was overall rated as average, but like I said, perfect construction. But in terms of the flavor experience, it could be better, much better.
All right, John, how about you? What were your overall thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if I got the astringency, but I agree with the overall take. It was fabulously constructed, which I guess is kind of a given when you're paying $10 for a cigar these days. It should be fabulously constructed. I found the first third to be interesting, more interesting than the rest of the cigar, and I was kind of hoping it was going in a desserty kind of way, but the second third and last third were just sort of mostly slightly above average Connecticut profile. So, there was some creaminess in there. There was some mild chocolate, but really not enough to keep my interest. So overall, pretty average experience. And, I would say that although the construction is perfect, I think you have to do a little bit more than that to elevate above all the other, because there's a lot of Connecticut's on the market right now. And I don't think it needs to be stronger. I just think it needs to be more complex. And I think it wouldn't have taken much to get it there. Aaron?
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you, John. I thought the first third was pretty good. It had a nice combination of flavors. But by the second third, the black pepper kind of took more of a role and there, knocked it down to average, and it kind of maintained that level through the rest of the way. Um, to me, I thought this was a bit of a punchier, fuller strength Connecticut shade. I mean, by the final third, it was up to medium full for me. So I'm not sure if you guys had similar experiences or not, but I definitely felt it was definitely a heftier Connecticut shade than like the traditional style. But it didn't. I didn't experience any of the traditional components of like hay or bitterness in what I smoked. I'd be up for this from time to time. If you want like a fuller strength Connecticut shade. But if you're not a fan of the milder Connecticut shades, that this one might be something that might be a better fit for you. So yeah, I mean, I thought it's something I would smoke maybe from time to time, but nothing to go crazy about, but nothing to be put off from. Getting the scores, start at the top. John and I both scored it with a 6.10, and then June gave it a
What?
5.40. So, John, you can go first. 6.10. How'd that match up for you?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say flavor-wise, this is probably around the 5.75 mark. But when you get that perfect draw and perfect construction, that's what brings it up to a 6. Does it deserve a 6? I'm not sure. I think this, like, no disrespect to the cigar, but I think that might be high. I think, when I look at this flavor profile, to me, this is a high fives. What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, we scored it identical, so much the same discussion points. Slightly above average flavor profile, and that happens a lot for me for a lot of the cigars we reviewed recently. It's just that this cigar has perfect construction, so it just, a lot of those cigars get into those high fives. But perfect construction just puts it over that 6 point hump. So, um, kudos to them for perfectly constructing the cigar. I mean, can't really take that away from them for doing that. So. I don't know, if you come down to it and you have cigars that are flawless construction and they're the same flavor profile as others, you might pick it over the other ones. So, all right, Jiunn 5.40.
That's so within my benchmarking of scores, that's probably that is on the lower of my average.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why it got to that like low mid fives is because it is perfectly constructed. But personally, I wouldn't smoke something like this again. Especially like I don't know if people know this, but like I don't even know if you guys know this, but like I've gotten to really enjoy like Connecticut Shade cigars. So much so that like I've bought boxes of a couple of Connecticut Shades that I really enjoy, and there's quite a bit of good Connecticut Shades out there. At
Tons.
least taste, that's decent. But this one is just below that notch. So it was disappointing.
Yeah, I just want to harp on that for a second and say I don't think people realize just how many Connecticut shades are out there. I mean, like you could throw a rock, and honestly, off the top of my head, I could probably name 60 brands that have what I would consider to be at minimum good Connecticut shades. So it's a pretty full space, and to make yourself stand out these days, it is a challenge for sure.
Yeah. All right. Any other final thoughts on this from you guys?
I'm enjoying what they're putting out. I mean, it was a pleasant experience, so I'm looking forward to reviewing more what they have to offer.
Yep.
The last one was good, but this one not so much. What was the last one called? Crema? Something? La
Yeah,
Crema?
Experience La Crema.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. If you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us. We'll also check out the full written review on the website, developmentpalates.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, and you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one.